Hello everyone. In this video, we will learn the concept of exception handling in a Java. So first we will see what is the concept of exception handling in a Java. So exception handling is nothing but one of the abnormal conditions that occur during the execution of program to stop the entire flow of application is called as exception handling. So before going to explain the definition of exception handling, I will just give you one small example. What is the concept of abnormal condition? Suppose you are one of the employee of any office. So if you have used a bike to for your daily routine to going from your source to destination, your source is nothing but home and destination is your office. Okay, so you are using a bike for traveling from your source to destination. So sometimes what happen, any one of that day your bike is having finished the petrol or bike is having some problem, is not working properly. At that time your daily routine is disturbed. So there are either two ways or two possible paths you have to need to choose. Either you need to go with a bus from your source to destination, otherwise you need to go for a walk, use another path, another way, that is a walk to from your source to destination. So it will disturb your daily routine. So you get late, you are going to late in a office. So same type of the condition is also occur at the time of execution of the applications. Okay, so exception is nothing but what, it is an unexpected event. Okay, we can say that it is an unexpected event which occurs during the execution of program. So that's why it will disturb the entire flow of the program. So let us consider one sample example. Here I am writing one class as a test, and in that mention main method. In under the main method I'm just writing three system printout statement, first line, second line and third line. So what is expected of the output of this program? So this program will show just three statements on a console window that are nothing but first line, second line and third line. Okay, so this is, we can say, the normal execution of the program. Okay, it will go first the go first the first line, that is nothing but public class test. After that the control is passed to the opening curly braces. Then after that the control is going to pass on main function. Then after that it will go inside to execute the sysout statement, and after closing the braces it will terminate the program. So it is called as a normal flow of the execution. It will not disturbing any path of the execution of this entire program. But suppose, let us see, we are consider the another example. Here I am adding one more example or program, we can say. Like in same second example I am just taken same class name as a test. Then I am writing here public static void main method. In main method just writing first again three system.out.println statement, that is first line, second line and third line. And in fourth line just I am here mentioning integer a is equal to 10 divided by 0. And after that again writing two system.out.println statement, that is fourth line and fifth line. So when we are going to execute this program, so what happen, when control is passed inside the main method, it will first execute the first line system, then second line system printout ln, and third line. When control is passed to integer a is equal to 10 divided by 0, then here what happen? The compiler will getting here some abnormal unexpected event is occurred. Means what? We cannot divide any number that is divisible by 0. So here compiler can caught an unexpected event. So that's why it will disturb the rest of the part of the execution of the program, and it will terminate the program. So it will execute entire flow of that program, and it will pass control out of this class, that is a test. So what is the output of this program? It will show only the first line, second line and third line sysout statement and console window. And after that this program will show the error that is exception handling error. The number is not divisible by 0 and it will just terminate the program. It will not showing the rest of the two lines which is mentioned, the expression 10 divided by 0, that is fourth line and fifth line. Okay, so this is called as a unexpected event. It is occur during the execution of the program and it will disturb the flow of the program. So it will be, we can say it is a risky code, but we need to handle such type of the code in our program. That concept is called as a exception handling. So how we can handle such type of the unexpected event? So let us consider the third example. In a third example, I'm again repeat the same class name test, then writing main method public static void main. Inside the main method, I'm just again mention three system.out.println statement, first line, second line, third line. Then I'm using here two new statement, that is nothing but try and catch. Inside the try, I'm writing the same arithmetic exception, that is nothing but integer a is equal to 10 divided by 0. And after that, I'm writing new statement, that is a catch exception e. And there I'm writing inbuilt exception class and system.out.println, write down the exception. And after writing the try catch block, the system.out.println, I am writing fourth line and next rest of the code is a fifth line. Okay, so after mentioning the try catch block, what happened? Whatever the disturbed events are occurred in our program, those are handled by using these new two statements, that is nothing but try and catch. And after handling those unexpected events, our program is also getting executed the rest of the part of the code, that is nothing but fourth line and fifth line. So that concept is called as a exception handling. So exception handling means what? It is a unwanted event which is disturb the normal flow of the program, but using some inbuilt statements we are try to handle that unexpected event and we also execute the rest of the code of the programs. Okay, so in Java we need to follow some basic hierarchy of the code. So in Java there is one of the main class for the exception handling, that is called as a throwable class. That class is located in java.language package. So we can say this is the super class of all the exception classes are available in a Java. So exception and error, these are remaining two subclasses, or we can say derived classes. Those are derived from the throwable class. So exception is again derived into multiple exception classes. Those are nothing but IOE exception, SQL exception, class not found exception, and runtime exception. And error is again divided into stack overflow error, virtual machine error, out of memory error. Then again runtime exceptions are divided into four parts: arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, number format exception, and index out of bound exception. So basically Java can provide three types of the exception, but mainly there are only two types of the exception: checked exception and unchecked exception. And error is considered as an unchecked exception. However, according to the Oracle, there are three types of the exceptions, namely checked exception, unchecked exception, and error. So checked exception means what? The first type of the Java exception is the classes those are directly derived from the throwable class, or we can say the classes those are directly inherited from throwable class. Such classes are called as a checked exception. Okay, so in checked exception what happen? In checked exception, compiler itself check whether the unwanted event is occurred in a program or not, and if unexpected event is occurred and it is handled by the programmer for the smooth execution of the program. So example of the checked exceptions are nothing but IO exceptions, then SQL exceptions, class not found exceptions. These are the examples of checked exceptions. Then second type of the exception is nothing but unchecked exception. Unchecked exception means what? The classes those are inherited or derived from the runtime exceptions. Such exceptions are called as a unchecked exception. So what is the primary difference between checked and unchecked exception? The unchecked exceptions are not checked by compiler at the compile time, because unchecked exceptions are checked at run time. Means what? The compiler does not check whether the unexpected event is occurred or not in a program, and if it is occur, then programmer is handle or not. It is not checked by compiler at the compile time in a second type of the exception, that is nothing but unchecked exception. And the third type of the exception is nothing but error. So error is nothing but irrecoverable part. Error is not basically the mistake of the programmer. Okay, so basically it is occur due to some system problem, or resources are not allocated properly. In that case the error is occurred. So this is the third type of the exception. It is also called as an unchecked exception, because error is also not checked by the compiler at the compile time. So example of unchecked exception is nothing but arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, array index out of bound exception. These are the examples of unchecked exceptions. And the examples of error are nothing but out of bound memory, virtual machine error, then stack overflow error. These are the examples of error. So primarily the difference between exception and error is nothing but exception is unexpected event or unwanted event, but we can handle that abnormal condition in our program. But error is not a programmer mistake. It is occurred due to some machine system problem, or sometimes the resources are not properly allocated to a machine, so sometimes the error is not coverable. So that is the primary difference between exception and error. So next, Java can use some inbuilt keywords for handling the exception. So there are total 5 keywords we are referring in Java. First is a try. The try keyword is used to specify a block where we should place an exception code. Means what? Whatever the unexpected events or unexpected causes or arises in our program, such block of code we are mentioned under the try block. So we need to use one of the inbuilt keyword in Java, that is a try. It means we can't use try block alone only. The try block must be followed by either catch or finally. Then second exception keyword is a catch. The catch block is used to handle the exception. It must be preceded by try block, which means we can't use catch block alone. It can be followed by finally block later. Means whatever the unexpected event we are caught in one block, we need to handle in another block. So for caught the event in try block, and we need to handle that event into a catch block. So try block, immediately we need to specify the catch block. We cannot single only mention the try block and catch block alone in our program. Then third keyword is finally. The finally block is used to execute the necessary code of the program. It is executed whether an exception is handled or not. So finally, it is basically need to execute the important code of the program unless and until our program is exception is handled or not. Means what? Sometime what happen, unexpected events are occurred in our program, but every time we not possible to handle such events. So sometime we need to execute the rest of the part of the code without handling such type of the exceptions. At that time we need to add finally code in our program to execute the important code or necessary code of the program whether exception is handled or not. The next two keywords are throw and throws. The throw keyword is used to throw an exception. It is basically used inside the method. And another one more keyword is used in Java, that is throws. The throws keyword is used to declare exception. It specifies that there may occur an exception in the method. It does not throw an exception. It is always used with the method signature. So throw keyword is basically used in the method declaration, it is not included inside the method. But the primary difference between throw and throws is nothing but we can use only one throw inside the method. Means using throw we can only fetch one exception at a time, but using throws we can fetch the multiple exceptions at a time. The next part, how we write the try and catch block in our program. So first is a Java try block. So try block is basically used to enclose the code that might throw an exception. It must be used within the method. So the syntax for Java try catch block is nothing but we need to use the keyword try, then write opening braces, then write down the code where we want to throw an exception, then closing brace. After immediately closing brace, we need to write the catch block. In catch block, we need to specify exception class name and specify the object of that class. Sorry. Then we can write the syntax of try block with finally also. Means every time try must be followed by either catch or either finally block, but only a single alone we cannot write the try block or only the catch block or only the finally block. It must be always write down the pair of either try catch block or either try finally. But one more thing, we can write multiple catch statements in our program, but only one finally we are mentioned in our program. So catch block. The catch block is basically used to handle the exception by declaring the type of exception within the parameter. The catch block must be used after the try block only. So you can use multiple catch block with a single try block. So one single try block we can write the multiple catch blocks. So we can write the multiple types of the exceptions we are checked. Whatever we got an unexpected event within a try block. So what is the basically internal working of Java try catch block? Suppose the unexpected event is occurred due to writing the expression like integer data is equal to 10 divisible by 0. An object exception class is thrown. The exception object is handled or not. If it is handled, yes, then rest of the code is executed. No, it will print the exception description, then terminate, prints the stack trace and terminate the program. So it will print the exception description means what? It will print why that particular unexpected block or abnormal condition is occur. So it will write the reason of that, and it will just write the exception message and just terminate the program. So if we not handle the exception, then it will not execute the rest of the part of the program and it will just terminate the program. But if we handle it proper way, then our rest of the code also will getting executed. So here first one example, I'm writing here one problem statement without exception handling. Suppose I'm taken here one example, try catch example 1 class. Inside they're writing main method and just writing one statement integer data is equal to 50 divided by 0. It will may cause an event and writing system.out.println and rest of the code. So when I'm trying to execute this code, it will give an only message exception handling and it will not execute the line system.out.println, that is rest of the code, because in the line integer data is equal to 50 divided by 0 it will causes an unexpected event. So it will print the number arithmetic exception, it will not divisible by 0 and it will just terminate the program. But I want to handle these situations and I want to execute the rest of the code of the program. So here in this same example I need to write the try catch block. So this is another example solution of that same problem by using exception handling. So after the main method I am writing here try block. In try block I am just writing that statement where we are caught the unexpected event, that is integer data is equal to 50 divisible by 0. This is an unexpected event which will causes the flow of the program. So we are handle that cause by using try block and handling that exception in a catch block. So basically we can say that expression is an arithmetic exception because we cannot divisible by 0 to any number. So that's why here writing the exception class directly, arithmetic exception E, and writing their system.out.println statement E. So here it will display print stack trace, that is the arithmetic exception not divisible by 0, and after that it will show the output rest of the code. So either arithmetic exception, here we are also writing only the exception class E and system.out.println E only. So this is the solution when unexpected event or causes are arises in our program, and using the concept of exception handling with try catch block, we are handle such type of the abnormal conditions in our program. Then third important keyword in a exception handling, that is nothing but finally block. So finally, Java finally block is used to execute important code such as closing the connection. Means what? It is always executed at least one, whether or not is our program is exception handle or not. Because sometime what happen, every time we also not possible to caught the unexpected event and handle such event, okay, but at this is at some time of such situations we need to execute the rest of the code of the program. In that case we are using the finally block along with the try block or try catch block. So this is the flowchart of finally block. Suppose we are writing the program code, then unexpected events or exception is occurred. So suppose we are handle such exceptions, exception handle yes, then finally block is executed. Exception occurred if there is no any exception in a program unless and until finally block is executed. But exception is occurred in our program, but we are not handle that exception till finally block is executed. So this is one of the sample example of test finally block. Here I am mentioning the class test finally block, then writing the main method. Inside the main method writing try block. In try block just writing one arithmetic exceptions expressions. Integer data is equal to 25 divided by 5 and system.out.println data. So 25 divisible 5 it is a possible, so it will be answerable 5. So it will store the value 5 in data variable. Then writing catch null pointer exception, but here catch won't be executed because in try block we are not single caught the exception, so that's why it will not fetch any exception to catch block. So here it will skip the execution of catch and directly go to the finally block, and it will print finally block is always executed and go to the system.out.println rest of the code. So basically there are some differences between catch and finally. Catch block is handles the error when occurs in try block. Finally is not need to handle the exception. That is the first primary difference between catch and finally. Catch is basically used to handle the exception, those are thrown by the try block, but finally is not handle the exceptions, those are thrown by try block. Then catch block is executed only when if exception is thrown by try block, otherwise it is not executed. But finally block is always executed whether exception is occur or not. We can use multiple catch block for only one try block, but we can use only one finally block is usually for only one try block. Then using catch we can handle the multiple exceptions by using the catch block, but finally we cannot handle the exceptions using finally block. Finally block is only used for execute the important code of the program, whether or not the exception handle in our program or not. But basically catch is used to handle the exceptions, those are thrown by the try block. So we can write the multiple catch statements in our program, but finally we can write only one block of the finally block in our program. Thank you.